Hi everyone, this is Norma with All My Crochet, and today I'm here to show you how to make this boot here. And this is the last item for the outfit that we've been working on, and it's a very cute boot using that single double crochet stitch, as you can see right here. This tutorial is going to be very easy and very simple. But before we start this tutorial, I wanted to share with you some exciting news. I separated the channels because my original channel name for this was called All My Crafts, and I was doing all kinds of, different things. I was doing crafting videos, and, of course I have all my hauls and some crochet tutorials, but the crocheting really took off. Everybody loved the crocheting tutorials that I've been doing, and I really haven't been doing too many crafts, but I do my hauls. So anyways, I decided to separate the channels. So this channel is going to be called All My Crochet. Okay, and it's strictly going to have tutorials on it moving forward. All the old videos are going to remain there, but moving forward, it's just going to be strictly tutorials. I'm not going to have anything else but tutorials. Now, the other channel I created, that's going to be called All My Crafts, and that channel is going to have everything else. So it's going to have my haul videos, my yarn haul videos, my clearance videos. Anything moving forward is going to be on that channel that has, anything to do with crafting, Goodwill hauls, Hobby Lobby hauls. Like I said, anything else is going to be on All My Craft channel. If I'm sharing, some of my crocheted items, I'm going to do it there. I have some videos that I'm planning on doing. I think right now, I created the channel maybe a couple weeks ago, and I think I have one video, a Goodwill haul on that channel, and that's it. So I will be doing more videos. I am going to do a video soon to show you my closet. It is a yarn closet from top to bottom, all yarn that I recently did, and I'm going to share that video on the All My Crafts channel. And of course, anything else. I also want to do a video on my dolls that I've gotten at the Goodwill. I've gotten American Girl dolls. I got some vintage looking dolls. I've gotten, I think it's called Gott's doll. I just recently found one this week at a Goodwill store. So I'm going to be sharing my dolls with you on that channel. I'm going to tell you how much I paid for them and stuff, and I would be so happy if you could go to that channel. I'm going to put a link in the description below to that channel, so if you guys will support me and go to that channel and subscribe, I would be so grateful, if you guys could do that for me. Again, this channel will strictly be the tutorials. The other channel, All My Crafts, will strictly be everything else. So anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. So let's get started on this tutorial to make this boot here. So today we're using the Hobby Lobby I Love This yarn. It's the metallic. Again, it's the size number 4 medium weight yarn. Now I'm using some of the scraps that I have here. This is a yarn bowl that I got at Hobby Lobby. So I'm using this for the boot. Okay. I'm going to also use a size F crochet hook 3.75. Now, you could use a size G. I like using a size F because I like my shoe and boot to fit tight on the doll. Because, when you put it on and off, the yarn will stretch. So that's why I like to start off with a size F. But if you crochet tight already, you might want to go to a size G. Totally up to you. Try both of them. See which one you like better. We're going to use 2 stitch markers. If you're beginning, that's just going to help you to find your stitches so that you're not confused. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to show you. We're going to start with a chain of 7. But normally when you start, obviously you do a slip knot like this. Okay, and pull tight. Well, I'm not going to pull tight. I'm going to do a slip knot, but I'm not going to pull it tight. So let me show you. You do this however you do it. But when you pull the yarn through, don't close it. Leave it open. I'm counting this as a stitch. Okay, so we need a total of 7 chains. This is counting as number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So now we're going to put a stitch marker in that second chain from the hook. So skip the first one. We're putting that stitch marker in that second chain from the hook. And this is just going to mark where this last stitch is on this side, because when we work these stitches, we're going to work along this side, and then we're going to go around and we're going to work along this side. So this is just going to show you where that last stitch is at, so you're not confused. Okay, so now we're going to work a single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So skip that first one and go to the second one where that stitch marker is at, and work your single crochet right there. Okay, and then put your stitch marker, your second stitch marker, in right there, so you know where your first stitch is at. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and work a single crochet along these chains. Leave this last one unworked. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next stitch and do a single crochet. Next stitch, single crochet. Next stitch, single crochet. Next stitch, single crochet. Okay, so let's count them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets right here. So now in this very last stitch here, we're going to work a total of 5 single crochets all into that last stitch right there. So 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And the reason I'm doing it like this is because if you do pull tight on the slip knot and you do these 5 stitches, it does still stretch the stitch out. And I don't want to have like a little opening there. So now we can pull tight on that. Let me take this out here. So now if you pull tight on this, it will close the stitch up. You see how nice and tight it is? You don't have a little big opening right there. So it closes the stitch up. Okay. So now we're going to work along the other side. Okay, right over here. And here, let me show you how many stitches we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stitches along this side. Now we're going to work 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's do that. Now if you want to put this chain right here to crochet over it, you can definitely do that. So let me pull this tighter here. Okay, so we're going to work 4 single crochets in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then 4 right there. Okay, now this is the last stitch where the stitch marker is. So in that last stitch, you're going to work 2 single crochets in that same stitch. So I'm going to take it out and we're going to work 2 single crochets in that last stitch there. So 1 and 2. Now after you're done with that last one, put your stitch marker back in there so you know where your last stitch is at. Okay, so here, this is what we have. We have a stitch marker at the first stitch and a stitch marker at the last stitch. Now you should have a total of 16 single crochets. So let's count them just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 right there. Okay, so that's the end of round number 1. Okay, so now we're going to start round number 2. So right now we're creating the sole of the shoe. Okay, so now we're going to start round 2, and I'm going to take the stitch marker out. Okay, and in that first stitch, you're going to do a single crochet. And you're going to put your stitch marker back in, because that's your first single crochet for the second row. And then in the next stitch, okay, you're going to do another, so that's the stitch there. You're going to go to the next stitch and do another single crochet. So that's 2 single crochets. The next stitch and the next 3 stitches, you're going to do a half double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up the loop, yarn over and pull through all 3, and that creates a half double crochet. So we're going to do that 2 more times in the next 2 stitches. So we have a total of 3 half double crochets. So the next stitch, half double crochets. Okay, so we started off round 2 with 2 single crochets, 1, 2. and then 3 half double crochets. Now, in the next 5 stitches, we're going to work 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So we're going to do that 5 times. So in the next stitch, we're going to work a double crochet. And in that same stitch, we're going to work a second double crochet. So we need to do that 5 times. So this is number 1. Next stitch, we're going to work 2 double crochets into the same stitch. 1, 2. That's our second one. Next stitch, 2 double crochets into the same stitch. 1 and 2. That's our third one. Next stitch, 2 double crochets into the same stitch. 1 and 2. That's our fourth one. 1, 2. Let's make sure. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we need one more. So 2 double crochets into the same stitch. 1 and 2. Okay, so that's what it's looking like. Now into the next 3 stitches, we're going to work a half double crochet. 1. Okay, go to the next stitch, another half double crochet. That's our second one, and then go into the next one and another half double crochet. That's what we have. Okay, now in the next 2 stitches, we're going to work a single crochet. So right here, 1, go to the next stitch and another single crochet, 2. Okay, now here is the stitch from the last stitch from the previous row. Okay, so in this last one here, we're going to work 2 single crochets into the same stitch. Now see, this is why I wanted you to put the stitch marker in the beginning and in the last so that you can see where your stitches are. So this one here is the beginning of the row that we started, and this is the last stitch from the previous row here so that you could see where the stitches are. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to do 2 single crochets into that same stitch right here. So 1 and 2. And then I'm putting this stitch marker back into that last one so we know where that stitch is at. Okay, so at the end of round 2, you should have a total of 22 stitches. Okay, that's what it's looking like. Okay, so definitely count your stitches, make sure you have the right number. So now what we're going to do is slip stitch to that first single crochet right here. So I'm taking this out and I'm going to slip stitch right there to that first one. And this closes round number 2. And that's the little sole right there. So now in the round 3, we're going to work single crochets all the way around, but we're working in the front loop only. So when I mean front loop, you have these 2 stitches. This one here is the back loop, and this one right here is the front. This is the back, and this is the front. So in this stitch where the slip knot is, this is the front, and this is the back. This is the back loop, and this is the front loop right here. This is the back, and that's the front. So we're going to be working in all these loops here in the front or at the top right here. And we're working a single crochet in all those loops. So we did the slip stitch. Now I'm going to do a chain 1, and then I'm going to do my first single crochet right there in the front loop, right there. So after you do your first single crochet, go ahead and put that stitch marker back in so you know where that first stitch is of row 3. Now we're just going to go around and we're going to work a single crochet all the way around in the front loop or in that top loop right there. So it's just a single crochet all the way around. So I'm going to continue to do this, and I'll meet you when we get to the other end where that last stitch marker is at. So here I'm almost at the end here. I have this stitch to do, so I'm going to do my single crochet, and then I have this last one right here, and I'm going to do my single crochet there. Now, the reason it's important if you're a beginner to use the stitch markers, because it gets a little confusing here. This is your last stitch from the previous row. But as you can see, it looks like there's a stitch here. But that stitch right here is actually your slip stitch from the previous row and then the chain 1. So if you're a beginner, this can be a little confusing, and you might add a stitch there and then your count is going to be off, and sometimes the shoe doesn't come out right or the boot doesn't come out right. It kind of looks a little lopsided because you're adding a stitch there. So right here where the stitch marker is at, that's your last stitch. This was your slip knot from, or the slip stitch from the previous row, and the chain 1. So right here in that last one, we're going to work our last single crochet. I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to work my single crochet in the front loop there. Okay, and then put that stitch marker right back in so you know where that last stitch is for this row here. Okay, now this is the way the shoe is, so what you're going to want to do is flip it back up like that. Okay, sorry I was interrupted. So, okay, we have it looking like this, so you're going to flip this up, okay, just like that. And this was our last single crochet where we put the stitch marker in. Now what we're going to do is we're going to close this round with the slip stitch. So I'm taking this out of the first stitch here, and I'm going to slip stitch to close right there. Okay, so this is what you have. Kind of looks like a little boat right there. Okay, so now we're going to start. This is round 1, 2. We finished round 3, so now we're going to start round number 4, and round number 4 is very easy. We're going to do a chain 1, and all we're going to do is a single crochet all the way around. So we're going to do our first single crochet, and then we're going to add our stitch marker back in here, right there, and we're going to do a single crochet all the way around. So I'm going to continue to do this, and I will see you when we get to the stitch marker. So second row of single crochets, which is row number 4. Okay. So again, I'm at the end here. This is the last stitch where my stitch marker is at. And again, this is why it's important. This is the slip stitch from the previous row and the chain 1. So you want to make sure you don't get those stitches. And I'm going to do the final stitch right there. Took my stitch marker out and doing my single crochet right there. And then I'm going to put it back. And then I'm going to take this one out, and I'm going to slip stitch to close row number 4. Okay, so there we go. That's what it's looking like. Okay, so now we're going to start row number 5. And in row number 5, we're going to do a chain 1. And in that first single crochet, we're going to do a single crochet, put our stitch marker back. And for this round, we need to do a total of 8 single crochet in the next 8 stitches. We've already done 1 there, so we need to do 7 more in the next 7 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. Let's count to make sure. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches. So now in the next stitch, or 2 stitches, we're going to do a decrease. Okay, so what we're going to do is in the next, and we're going to do that 3 times. So in the next 2 stitches, we're going to do a decrease. So we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3, and that created a decrease. You had 2 stitches, now you have 1, so that's a decrease. Now we're going to do it again 2 more times. Okay, so again, we're just inserting the hook in the stitch, pulling up a loop, going into the next stitch, inserting it, pulling up a loop. You have 3 on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3, and that was a second decrease. We're going to do it the last time now. So we're going to insert our hook, pull up a loop, insert into the second stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through all 3, and that was our third decrease. Now we're going to do a single crochet all the way across, and in that last one, obviously we're going to do single crochet, and there should be a total of 8 single crochets going across. So we're going to start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and where that stitch marker is, that is the 8th one right here, taking it out and then putting it back in. Okay, so we're done with row number 5, and we're going to do a slip stitch to close. So I'm taking that stitch marker out of the first one and slip stitching to close. Okay, so this is what number 5 looks like. So again, we're starting row 6, chain 1. That first stitch, we're doing a single crochet, putting our stitch marker back in. So row number 6, we need a total of 7 single crochets to start. So this is number 1. We need 6 more. Going to the next stitch, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. Now we're going to do a decrease again, and we're going to do it 2 times. So again, in the next 2 stitches, we're going to decrease, insert your hook, go into the next stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3. So that's 1. So we're going to do it a second time. Okay, so I'm just kind of pushing this down with my finger so that I could see the stitches better. Inserting the hook, going to the next stitch, inserting the hook, and yarning over and pulling through all of them. Okay, so now we're going to do a single crochet, and there should be a total of 8 of them going all the way to the other stitch marker there. So we're going to start doing that. We need 8 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, where that stitch marker is at. Put it back here so that you know where it's at. Okay, then I'm going to take this one out, and I'm going to slip stitch to close the row. Okay, so this is what it's looking like. This is the end of row number 6. Right there. Looks like a nice little shoe. Now you can leave this as a ballerina shoe like this if you're doing some kind of ballerina dress, and just maybe attach a ribbon to the back of here to wrap around the doll's leg. That would be very nice too. Okay, so now we need to work on row number 7. And row 7 is very easy. Row number 7, all we're going to do is a single crochet all the way around. And by this time you should have 17 stitches. So let me grab my yarn. Okay, do my chain 1. In that first stitch, we're doing a single crochet, and I'm adding the stitch marker back. And all we're going to do is a single crochet all the way around to the end of the stitch marker. Okay, so just 1 single crochet. We're not doing any more decreases, just a single crochet. So I'm going to do that, and I will meet you at the end of where the other stitch marker is at. So I'm at the end, I'm taking my stitch marker out, and I'm completing that last single crochet, putting it back here, taking this one out, and we're going to slip stitch to close. And we're done with round number 7, and there should be a total of 17 single crochets. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. It should be a slip stitch. Sorry. Okay, there we go. That's what the shoe is looking like. Okay, now we're going to start with the single crochet, double crochet stitch. So now in that first stitch where we did the slip stitch, we're going to do the chain 1. We're going to do the single crochet, putting my stitch marker back here. And in that same stitch, we're going to work the double crochet into the same stitch. So we got the single, now we're going to do the double crochet. Okay, so now we're going to skip a stitch, go to the next stitch, and do the single crochet, double crochet, all into the same stitch. Skip a stitch, go to the next one, single crochet, double crochet. So we're going to do this all the way around, and I will meet you at the end close to where the stitch marker is at. So here I am close to the end. I have this stitch left, and then the last one here where the stitch marker is at. So those are the last 2 stitches. So I'm going to take this stitch marker out. I'm going to skip the next one, and in that very last one where the stitch marker was at, I'm going to do my single crochet and double crochet all into that same stitch right there. Okay, so you can put this back in here in the double crochet. At this point you don't really need the stitch marker, but if you want to use it, go ahead and continue using it. So now what we're going to do is take this one out, and I'm going to slip stitch to close. Oh, actually I'm not going to slip stitch. I'm going to keep going around. So in this next stitch where the single crochet was, you're going to keep doing that. You're going to do the single crochet, double crochet, and we're going to keep repeating that all the way around. So I'm going to go to the next stitch, just do my single crochet and double crochet. I did not slip stitch. So I'm going to keep going around like this in the rounds. Okay, so that's why I'm saying you don't really need this anymore. You can put this in the front of one of the stitches just so that you can see where you started this. Okay, so I'm just kind of putting it right there where you started the stitch, because we're not going to have to be taking it out anymore. So this is just to show you where that first one that we made when we started the row is at. So now we're starting row number 2 of this stitch, or I should say row number 9. Okay, so this is starting row number 9. So now we're going to skip this one, go to the next stitch, and we're going to keep working. Single crochet, double crochet. Skip this one, go to the next one, single crochet, double crochet. Now if you need to have a piece of paper, maybe I should have said it in the beginning, you know, to mark your rows, do that. If you want to have like a row counter to count your rows, do that. But we're going to keep doing this until we get to row number 13. Okay, or if you want to count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of these single double crochets here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when you have 6 rows of the single double crochets, you can stop. You can make this length as long as you want it. If you want it to be short, you can stop anywhere that you want. Depends how long you want this boot. Okay, but I'm going up to row number 13 with this stitch. So I'm skipping the next one, going to the next one, doing my single crochet and double crochet. Skip this one, go to the next one, single crochet and double crochet. Okay, so that's all we're going to be doing, and we're going to keep going all the way around, and then when we get to this end, we're just going to keep going around and around and around. This is not going to move because this is just showing you where that first one was at, and we're just going to keep going around and around. And I'm going to do a few more rows and show you what it's going to look like, but again, we're repeating the same thing that we've been doing. Next one, we're going to skip this stitch, go into the next stitch here, which is the single crochet and double crochet. Skip the next stitch, go into the next stitch, single and double into the same stitch. So I'm going to keep doing this for a few more rows, and I'll show you what mine is looking like. So I just wanted to show you, this is right here with the stitch marker where we started our first one, and we're getting to where it's at. So we're not removing the stitch marker. We're just going to continue. Skip this one, go to the next stitch, do our single and our double right there. And this last stitch right here is actually the last stitch for this row here. Okay, not for this, for the row. So when we do the next stitch, we're starting a new row over here because we have 1, 2, and then we're going to start the new one. So you're going to keep going around and around until you have 6 rows of these single doubles, or until you reach row number 13. And I'm going to continue to do this, and I will see you. Skip this one, go to the next one, and we're going to do a single and a double crochet into the same stitch, and I'll see you soon. So here I am. I'm not quite done yet. I still have one more row to go, but I just wanted to show you what it's looking like, and I want to show you how to count the rows if you're not sure how many you have. So what I'm going to do is we're going to start at the bottom here. Now the sole was 2 rows, so we have 1, 2, okay. Then we had 2 rows of the single crochet, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we had 2 rows of the decreases, 5, 6, and then we had the 1 row of the single crochet, so that's 7. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And now we're going to count these stitches: 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so we have 12 rows here. I still need to do 1 more row to complete this. So I'm going to continue to do this, and I will see you at the end. And here's where we first started. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So remember I said if you have 6 of these rows, you're done. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we need to do 1 more row, and when we get to this last one here going up, that's when we're going to stop all the way at this end here. Okay, so I'm going to keep going around, skip this one, go to the next one, and work our same stitch, single crochet, double crochet, all into that same stitch. And I will see you at the end of round number 13. So here I am at the end, and I have my 6 rows. This row here where the stitch marker is at, if you go up like this, you'll count 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's getting caught in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It's getting caught in these little fibers there. Okay, so now we're going to skip this one here, go to the next stitch, and all we're going to do is a slip stitch to close, just like that. Okay. Now we're going to start the next row, which is row number 14. We're going to do a chain 1, and all we're going to do is a single crochet all the way around in every stitch. So do a single crochet, and I will see you at the end. Now if you need to put that stitch marker in that first one, go right ahead, and let's see. Let me go back here, so because sometimes it can be a little bit hard to see. So I'm going to finish this stitch here that came out. That was my double crochet. Okay, skip this one, so I'm going to that single crochet and doing a slip stitch. Then I'm going to do my chain 1, and in that same stitch I'm doing my single crochet, and I'm putting the stitch marker so that you could see where that one, where the single crochet starts. So you're going to go all the way around and do a single crochet in every single stitch. So I will see you at the end of this row here. So I'm at the end here, and all I'm going to do is slip stitch to close this row of single crochets, just like that. Now we're going to make this little part right here of the boot. Now if you want to, if you don't, you can leave it like this. It's totally up to you. So now we're going to do a chain 1, single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into that same stitch. Okay, next stitch is just going to be a single crochet by itself. Next stitch is going to be the single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into the same stitch. Next stitch is just going to be single crochet. Next stitch, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet. Next stitch, single crochet alone. Next stitch, single crochet, chain 2, and single crochet into the same stitch. So I'm going to keep doing that around, and I will see you when we get close to the end. So here I am close to the end. I have 2 stitches left. I did my single crochet in that last one. So in this one I'm doing my single crochet, chain 2, single crochet into the same stitch, and then the last one is going to be the single crochet. Then you're going to slip stitch to the single crochet over here, and you're done. Okay, we're done with our boot. That's what it's looking like. I think this one's a little taller because I've been putting it on the dowel, and it kind of stretches it out or stretches it in. Let me show you what it looks like on the dowel. I do have a dowel here that I wanted to show you because it is a tight fit. So this is the one that I've already made. This is the second one, okay? So I'm going to show you because this is a very tight fit on the dowel. And I'm going to show you how I do it. So obviously when you do this, I'm putting the foot in, okay? So you're going to have to definitely play with it and stretch it in the beginning. And you see I'm just kind of pushing down and then it's going in. So that's what it's looking like. That's what it looks like on the dowel. I think it fits perfect. It fits good. Let me put the other one on just so you can see. So again, I just kind of push down like this and pull this up and push down. And it becomes easier as you do it. And that's what it's looking like on the dowel. Of course, you got to tuck all your ends in. That's the side. And that's what it's looking like. And I think it fits good. It's nice and straight, nice and even. And I think it's perfect. Matches the dress that we've already done and the coat. So that's all that I have for you today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I do have some other videos that I want to share with you. And as you see, it's stretching out. So as you can see, it's the same size now. It's only because, you know, we put it on the dowel and it kind of stretches it out as it goes in. So, you know, it fits perfect on the dowel. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Please go to my other channel and subscribe to it. I will leave a link in the description. And again, I do have some other tutorials. I have a new dress that I kind of worked on, but I still got to get my notes down on it and do it. I have a blanket I think that I'm going to do with the same stitch with the single double crochet stitch, a blanket for the doll, and a pillow. And I think it'll be really, really cute as well. So, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you very much and have a great day. Bye.